and welcome to Expat American. I, of course, am the Expat American, and today we're again on a bridge over the Moscow River, and we're going to head over here to Moscow's most famous shopping district. But before we head there, you recognize that building? We've seen it before. And over here is a government building known as the White House. But the question tonight will be, how does Moscow shopping stack up to American shopping? I'm actually going to go under the bridge to get where I need to go, but check it out. The lights just came on that building like a beautiful piece of gold. And there they have river cruises in Moscow. Okay, so I walked for about a block, and it wasn't much, but apartment buildings. And now I can see we're getting into some city lights and shopping lights that look more like New York or Las Vegas. And this is actually called New Arbat Street. And once we get to the end of this strip, it actually takes a turn, and it's called Old Arbat Street, which is a much older shopping area. It looks completely different. And it's more for tourists, looks more like the Moscow City Walk in the previous video. Arbat Hall, so I'm guessing that's another concert venue. This right here is a candy shop. It says Sladky Joe. That means Sweet Joe. Joe's a good first name. Oh, very interesting. Look at this. Stars Coffee. This is the new version of Starbucks that Russia bought from America. So I got my Stars coffee. It says Joe on it in Russian. And on Arbat Street still, we got a little ride for kids. And this was 395 rubles. So that would be about $6. So Stars coffee, Stars rubles instead of Starbucks. How does that stack up to American Starbucks? Probably about the same, I would say. That says Detsky Mir. That is the Russian version of Toys R Us, except they're still in business. I'll check that out, see if I can find some toys for my kids. So this is 396 rubles. Again, about $6. Here's an Optimus Prime, 4,000 rubles. Hey, I recognize that New York building. I've been in that. So I got Iron Man and Thor for 200 rubles a piece. That's a little more than $3. I think Thor is kind of lame, honestly, but my youngest kids are pretty little. There's the church, and correction, when I said Thor was lame, just so people don't hate me, I'm referring to the design of this action figure. I'm not disparaging Thor. So that back there is New Arbat Street that we just finished with, and now it turns, and we have Old Arbat Street going back this way, so we'll see what that looks like now. Now here is Old Arbat Street. So how will these old shops stack up against America's shops, and how will it stack up against the Moscow City Walk in the Moscow City Walk video? Photo op for tourists. So like I said earlier, Old Arbat is more for tourists, I believe. This restaurant behind me, it's gorgeous inside. I haven't eaten there, but I've been in there to look around with my wife. We'll have to go back when it snows, and we definitely cannot be eating outside. But actually on the wall in there, there's several photos of celebrities, so there must be something internationally special about that place, and it looks like something Mediterranean or Georgian or Greek in style. I love the old-fashioned lights they have, the street lights, just like they have at the other city walk. Right next to me here is the Californian restaurant. It's a place where the local Americans like to eat from time to time if they're missing standard American hamburgers and fries. There's a rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. That's a kids museum there. So Alice in Wonderland is a popular story in Russia, just like it is in Britain and America. Over there are restrooms you can pay for There's not a whole lot of free restroom options in Russia, so that's one difference. You definitely gotta make sure when you drink your fluids and when you don't. There's a nice fountain behind me. Over here we have a theater house for shows. And then over here, that says Actor Dom, so actor's house. So I believe in Soviet times, that's where the famous actors in Russia would live. This right here is an Irish pub. I think it's Irish, it's British something. My wife and I ate at in winter time. And here, because we're in the city, they sweep the snow immediately, but you will have dusted snow on everything. And they had the Christmas decorations on the door, and it had a very Charles Dickens vibe. It was very nice. Interestingly enough, in America you would see Christmas wreaths on the door for something like that. But in Russia they associate the wreath with funerals only. So I believe the wreath is supposed to represent Jesus' crown. And so as things went through history, Russians associated that for funerals, and we associated it for Christmas Day, Jesus' birth. Interesting difference in the two cultures. My phone died, so of course I had to go into this pub and eat while my phone charges. There's the theater outside the window, and I believe, well, I know that says War and Peace. Don't get scared, it's not a political statement, it's a famous old story. And I believe the cold weather is what wears down the phone battery so quickly. I like the upper deck of this place. So the coaster for my beer is, as you can see, a mixture of Russian and English. The tea box here is tea. So in Russia, it is very easy for an English speaker to get along. Unlike in America or in England, let's say, it'd be very difficult if you were Russian only to get along. So there's a famous wall right here on Arbat Street that I believe just started out as graffiti and then has now become a famous Russian tourist attraction. And it is from a guy who tragically died young, an artist, a Jimi Hendrix type. And you'll see Russians coming and taking pictures in front of this wall all the time. I'm interrupting some right now. But anyway, that's right off of Arbat Street. And now we've got just a couple blocks left. Let's head into this tourist shop and see how prices hold up as far as tourists they want to take advantage of.
Make 300 each.
So that little snow globe in my hand of, I believe, Russia, St. Basil's, was 350 rubles, which again is about $6. Pretty pricey, but that's the way it goes for tourist shops all over the world where the tourists don't know better. And the lady was definitely trying to cut a deal with me. She could speak English, obviously, because they want to appeal to tourists and make the sale. Check it out, Hard Rock Cafe in Russia, in Moscow City. With they still have their outside porch for people that want to eat outside. This looks like it might be actually a permanent porch. I'm not sure. Had my teenage son's birthday lunch in there. And so now we've come to the end of Arbat Street. The arch right there is the end of it. The great thing about Arbat Street is that there's a metro station on one end for Old Arbat, and then there's a metro station on the other end. So you actually only have to go through Arbat Street one time, get off the metro, go down Arbat, and then get back on the metro. You don't have to go all the way down and turn back around. But if you like this video, click like and subscribe, and if you want to see more, click up here or up here. I'm not sure where I'll put it. and we can see together whether or not Moscow is like DC, meaning there are parts of Moscow and parts of DC that may be designed after each other, and that's what I want to explore in this next video.